What's going on, fellow A+ers? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new video, and as you can see, I am in location unknown, a little shady around these parts. But today we're going to be talking about The Conjuring. That's right, The Conjuring Last Rites, the fourth installment to the Conjuring main title franchise line. We're back, baby. That's right. Patrick Wilson, Verma Farmiga are returning as Ed and Lorraine Warren in this one. This was a brand new film that just dropped this past weekend, as this will in fact be sort of the last Conjuring movie, or at least that's how they're promoting it. I believe this movie on opening weekend has made like $80 million domestically. I think it's over 100 million worldwide right now, so this movie is making money. It would not surprise me, based off of the money that this movie makes, if Warner Brothers will go ahead and find some way to make a Conjuring movie. Now, for those of you who follow the Conjuring franchise, we usually have the Conjuring along with its spin-offs in Annabelle, The Nun, and La Llorona. But we'll see if we get any other spin-offs in the future. But this, as of right now, is supposed to be the last Conjuring movie. But I had the opportunity to go ahead and check it out last night, and I got to tell you, this is very much return to form for me, or at least a little bit. Now, look, I was not a big fan of the last Conjuring entry. The Devil Made Me Do It. Just a little bit lackluster. I felt like we went a little bit more route. I don't want to say serial killer, but I don't know. There was something missing. There was certainly something missing about the last one, and that certainly was not the case here. It feels like we are taking things back, old school a little bit, focusing more on the Warrens, focusing a little bit more on the family in need here. And I was a really big fan of this movie. I certainly walked away enjoying it, really impressed. There are elements. Look, I think the idea of this movie supposedly to be sort of the last entry, I thought they did a really great job in turning this into sort of like a very nice farewell film, if you will, in regards to how they wrap up this movie. We even see like some cameos of past characters from the previous films that make a return in here, almost as, like families that they've helped in the past, right? So anytime we get those characters to kind of make cameos towards the end in some form of celebration, it is kind of coming full circle and bringing this franchise all the way back around, if you will. But the elements of it being sort of like a farewell movie really worked for me. But I think what really works in this movie is, I think, the viewer's attachment to the Warrens, considering the fact that this is like the fourth installment that we've had the opportunity to see them in. It's been nothing but great character growth. I think these movies do a great job of not just being filled with jump scares and being frightening, but also do really great character work. And ever since the first Conjuring movie, that's exactly what they focused on. So the fact that we get the opportunity to see the Warrens from the beginning all the way up to them having kids, watching their very own kid grow, and to kind of see their story along with their child's story come to like an impasse and like a moment where it all kind of connects with one another, and seeing the Warrens have just as much of an impact in this movie and be as big a part of the story as they already are, I think really worked because of sort of that emotional connection and bond that we have. So I'm really glad that the Warren story got to be sort of front and center. There are aspects of that I do think maybe take away from the other aspect, which is the Smurl family, right? Like, considering the fact that this was probably one of the most publicized sort of possession or haunting events that happened for the Warrens late in their career in the 80s. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of the Smurl family. Not that we didn't get a lot, but I definitely wanted to see a little bit more of them and their story. But we definitely get to see like the idea of what's haunting them, what's pushes to the point of pushing them to really have to get the help that they certainly need and deserve. If there was anything else missing from this movie that I think they did really good in maybe the first two, I kind of wish that we had an idea of who this particular demon was, a little bit more backstory, maybe some biblical scripture to kind of add the Catholicism aspect to this movie again, if you will, to the point to where it feels like maybe it's become so Hollywood Hollywoody that it's just like, oh, we just need a demon. The lack of creativity of giving either the demon a name or a past history or a really good reason as to why it's haunting this particular object or family in particular. I really would have loved a little bit more investigative work or discovery in that regards, lore building for the demon in that aspect and the possession to make it feel a little bit more. It was already personal, but a little bit more personal in that regards. But outside of that, look, the jump scares are certainly here. The emotion is certainly here. The drama is here. The creepiness, great directing, cinematography, certainly on point in this movie. Also, so yeah, like again, the Warrens being a heavy part. Great performances, especially from Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. We also get, I don't know if her daughter is in this movie. I know Taysa Farmiga played Irene Palmer. I don't know if she played her in this movie or if this was like a past movie or a spinoff that she certainly might have been in. But the actress that plays their daughter, Judy, in here, Mia Tomlinson, I thought she did really good job, to be honest with you. So it's really cool to kind of see the growth of the Warrens, the growth of the family, the importance of family, all of their stories over the past couple films kind of coming together to really warrant this being sort of I don't want to say the big bad, but like what it kind of all leads up to for them. So you combine that with the intensity of what's happening with the Smurl family and the idea of them feeling very much alone, being cast out. Like the time period that this movie takes place in, I think is really important, right? Because of the fact that, and it's something that the movie focuses on, is the fact that because where we started out this franchise like in the 60s or early 70s, the perception of the paranormal and the supernatural definitely has changed by the time we got into the 80s, to where it's like if you believe that type of stuff, you're just kind of cuckoo, right? So the inability to maybe able to find the help that they might have, say, like a decade ago or 15 years prior, sort of thing, really changes the situation that I think the Smurl family finds themselves in, along with the Warrens. And so, while there are aspects of the movie that I really enjoyed, I do think there were missed opportunities to maybe even highlight, whether that be being on talk shows or being interviewed. Like, while there are moments of like interviewings and the news being around and things like that, I really would have loved to have seen them push a little bit more into just how what they believe in very much makes them feel a little bit more ostracized during this time period. But look, compared to what I got in the third film, I will take this each and every day. This is more than an acceptable entry into The Conjuring. And if you ask me, a very, very proper sort of send off and farewell. If this is, in fact, the last for both Patrick and Verma, I think they've done a remarkable job. They've helped create and bolster these real life people into these on screen characters that I think will certainly stand the test of time. So, a really big fan of the Conjuring franchise. Glad that this one certainly succeeded, and I highly recommend it if you haven't had the opportunity to check it out. But until then, do me a big favor, as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.